Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
What's up, everyone? Today is Fly Nubian Money Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, ladies. How you guys doing today? It's so good to see my queens. I ain't seen y'all in a week. I ain't seen y'all, so it's so good to see you guys. And it's good to be seen by everybody in the audience, everybody in the chat. Listen, I don't know if you hear a little bit of echo, but I'm not in my normal place. I'm actually doing an open house with my daughter. We out in Baltimore. She has this commercial property out in Baltimore that I'm helping her sit out here doing an open house. But so you might hear a little background. I just want to let you know. But I do want to go to what we're talking about today. Today, we're discussing a growing conversation online. As layoffs sweep across the country, content creators are calling for transparency. They're asking one question, because we know there's the huge layoffs going on right now. The economy's in the tank. The president said this is the best economy we've ever had in the whole entire history of the world. We got the hottest country, the hottest economy in the world right now. Everything we're hot. Everything is hot. we're hot. But many say that Black and brown workers are being cut first. I mean, duh. Even after companies spent years promising diversity, equity, and inclusion, from tech to media to finance, what the numbers are saying is they are painting a very different picture than what's being presented in the press. Okay. So today we are asking, are diversity hires the first to go when companies open up? And what does that say about how job security and opportunities are distributed in America right now? But first, I want to introduce you to the queens on the panel. We have Dr. Sabrina Jackson Williams. Wait, Jackson, why say Jackson? Dr. Sabrina Williams. I know your name is Williams. What the hell going on? Dr. Sabrina Williams, SEW. It's not SEW.
Oh, we were gone too long.
Jackson Williams. They all Black. Jackson Williams. I guess they just gonna give you. We gonna give you whatever we want to give you. Just give you a Black Johnson. We don't care.
Whatever.
How you doing, Miss Lady? It's good to see you.
I'm good. I've been missing you guys. I'm telling you, when you don't see your beautiful faces, it's like, wait, something missing.
Right. Well, it's good to see you. So I always love engaging and conversing with you, the both of you ladies. You guys, some of the most highly intellectual women on the planet. And of course, we got the B.Big Coach. Hey, the B.Big Coach. What's up, Dr. Felice? What's happening, lady? How you doing?
How you doing, Constance?
We're going to get doctorized and therapized all in one sitting. So it'll be good because you guys have so much knowledge and information on this and what we can do. And we always try to be solution oriented. I mean, this is information that we all know to be true. It's like, okay, yeah, we know when America has a cold, what happens to Black people? We get the flu. First one hired, last one hired, first one fired. Who's always the last one hired? We are. So, this comes with the territory. This is why we've been saying what we've been saying. It's why we've been talking what we've been talking. Let me ask you, Dr. Sabrina, are you at all surprised by the numbers?
No, I'm not at all. I am not at all. Because of what you just said. We're always, that has always been our norm. So why would we expect to see anything different? And I think once that whole DEI went away, hey, it was open sesame then. A lot of the things that people wanted to do from the start, now they had, the legal right to go ahead and do that. And the reality is, it's sad because we bring so much value to whatever space we are in. And so you have to know that as a society, we are just missing out on that which we bring. And it's something that nobody else can bring that to the table except us. So, yeah.
But that's real, because the thing about it is, what people who understand diversity understand is diversity breeds, and it breeds inclusion, but it also breeds people morale. When you work together, you have morale. There is this thing going around, and this Project 2025, the people from Project 2025 are saying it. You've seen who was at that Cuomo, who actually parroted it, saying diversity is not beneficial. This is what the Republicans are saying, that diversity is actually harmful. How? When you have a country that's built on diversity, we're supposed to be this melting pot. But what's happening is birth of white people are going down. The browning of America is happening, and they are thinking that they're losing their power, and essentially they're doing everything they can to fight to get that power back. But Dr. Felice, let me ask you the same question. Were you surprised? Is anybody in the chat surprised at the numbers?
No, not at all. And in fact, one of the things that I've been doing for years when I meet with people, especially with Black and brown people, I always tell them, you should always be looking. You should always be connecting with your purpose and your passion so that you can always have a pivot. And I've always been telling people, you can't get comfortable. You can't drink the Kool-Aid. And so and DEI was always an illusion, right? Now, it did allow for people to get in the door, but did corporations really practice DEI? Not really. And so now what this time has caused is for people to really be who they are. Now they're really showing us who they are and what they've always wanted. And so I think we've been in sort of like a matrix where people thought, oh my gosh, now there really is diversity. No, it was never real. Even when we had it, it was just in name only, but not really in intention and in real practice. And so I've always been telling Black and brown people, like, you got to have a pivot just in case. Like, they don't really want you there. When they created that corporation, it was never with you in mind. And I've always been telling people that corporate America is just a modern day plantation. And if you look at dynamics of that was modern day plantation, they still only had certain people in certain higher up offices, but the people working the field, the people making sure that the company made the money, those were the Black and brown people. And so, it's just been a modern day corporation. And then this is what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to backfire. I think you removing the salt, you removing the preservatives from your company is going to backfire on you. And so, you got to let people kind of make their bed, and they're going to lie in it, which is happening now. You are now lying in your bed and seeing the result of when you continuously oppress people and you make it hard for them to live like human beings have the right to live and show up in this world.
I mean, this administration is so fucked up that you think about Donald Trump. You try to get rid of the Mexicans and you getting rid of the brown people. So now our produce is going up. Now all the things, our essentials are going up. Now we can't have basic things because who's going to do the work? He said, when we went to the inner cities, we thought they'd be the ones to do it. They thought they was going to put us back on the plantation in that way where we're doing hard labor. And Black folks is like, no, we got a certain skill set. We know our worth. So I'm not picking the grapes. I'm not picking the uvas. I'm not doing it. So then I saw an interview with him on Fox News the other day, and he was like, we need the Chinese people to come over. We need the Indians to come over because we just don't have the talent in the workforce. And she's even like, this is Fox News. She's like, we do. What you said, Dr. Felice, is so true. America is going to fall on its face because it's so sick with racism. You have the people right here, but you will not invest in the people that you have. You rather import a certain demographic from another country because you're so sick with racism. You don't want to see black. And somebody said, it was a white person that said, or a Hispanic person that said, I don't know, maybe you guys know, but there must be something about black people. There must be something, I don't know what it is, but there must be something special about black people because they're doing so much to like destroy. Like, what is it? Can you guys tell me? Because all the efforts specifically that go against black people, is there a secret that they know that we don't know? We'll talk about more when we come back from the break.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
I just got laid off.
So let's take a look at this video about what's happening over at CBS.
I just got laid off from my job at CBS, and every producer on my team who got laid off is a person of color. Every person who gets to stay and will be relocated within the company is a white person. Now, in my meeting with the executive who told me I was getting laid off, I specifically asked him if it was a consideration for us to be relocated somewhere else within the company, and he said that we advocated to keep the show. We advocated to try to get you relocated somewhere, and we couldn't. Because I asked him, why are you the person who is making this decision or delivering the news that we're being laid off? And he said, oh, it could have been anyone. Only to later find out, because it wasn't until I went downstairs thinking that me and all of my colleagues had been laid off, that I found out that it was only the people of color. So I went one by one to my white colleagues. Are you getting laid off? No. 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 So I went back up to his office and I told him, I think you lied to my face. And come to find out, it was not his decision to eliminate the show that I work for. But he did get to decide who got to stay. I told him, you said that you couldn't get us relocated, only to find out that you were able to get some people relocated, and they all happen to be white. Am I supposed to believe that that's a coincidence? And he said, yes, I'm supposed to believe that's a coincidence. I said, do you believe that's a coincidence? He said, I do, because I chose to keep the people who I had worked with before. So mind you, not only is it not based on merit, it is in its result racist. I don't care if you decided to keep people who had purple colored hair. You deciding to keep people who you had worked with before, which don't even know if that's true. If the outcome of that decision is racist, the action was racist, that shit is fucked.
Now, CBS has never been like the WB or UPN when it came to their programming, right? It's always been kind of whitewashed. But then you have to wonder what's going to happen with the programming going forward with CBS. So, Dr. Sabrina, what are your thoughts on what he said about this idea that CBS is only laying off Black people?
Not surprised again, given where we are. But I think this, as disappointing, as upsetting as it is, I think this lends itself to a whole nother conversation. And that is, what do we need to be doing to build our own? I think about, and I'm gonna give you an example. My husband retired last Monday from his job. He's been there for 23 years. Okay. During that time frame, we have reared 2 sons. Now, after spending 23 years of your life on someone's job at someone's company, here's the thing: there's no succession. You don't move and then leave that position for your son. Now, I do understand in some instances, in some companies, there is this thing called nepotism, and doors are open for people's children and relatives, but that by far and near is not our reality. And so I think, as disappointing as things are right now, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to have a discussion within our own community about what we are building for succession for our children and our children's children.
No, that's good shit. And I know, even pivoting to you, when you talked about the pivot, Dr. Felice, Patricia Jones said, America is falling slowly every day. I've never seen so many white people marching in my life with signs of their disapproval of this racist administration. This is really a sign of the times of what's going on in America, how we are seen across the globe, how we've lost respect. Donald Trump is tone deaf to everything because he still thinks we're hot. I'm hot. This is hot. And you see that the Commanders game last Sunday, they booed him, they flipped him off. They're like, so it was just a lot going on with this administration. He don't care because in the meantime, while they're doing all this stuff, they're getting richer and richer and richer. There's never been a time in history where a sitting president has just gained so much wealth and it's gone unchecked. We also know that they said, listen, they're desperately trying to make sure that the Democrats don't win the midterms because they said we going to jail. Y'all, we is going to jail if they get elected for the midterms. They know that there's a large sense of corruption. But in the meantime, here's what I think. We still can't fall asleep. We can't depend on that happening. When you talk about the pivot, getting ready for the pivot, Dr. Felice, what does that really mean? Because what happens is we have a short-term memory. And so when we get comfortable, okay, everything's good, we start sitting on our laurels. In spite of that, what should we be doing?
Well, I think one of the things that we should be doing is welcoming a little bit of discomfort into our lives and keep it there. Like, you never get too comfortable, right? Comfort, I think comfort is a beast to people. I think it causes people to regress instead of progress. And so you got to keep a little bit of discomfort. I also think that we need to change the mindset from drinking the Kool-Aid of a me individualistic kind of mindset into a we community mindset. We are going to have to depend on each other in order to make sure that we get the outcomes that we need just for ourselves, but for our children, because our children are getting ready to enter a world that we really didn't prepare them for. And they are our legacy. So if we don't teach them how to be resilient, if we don't teach them how to swim, we run the risk of becoming extinct. And so we have got to pass this on to a mindset about community, about helping each other, and then think about what it is we do still have. What do I have and what do I have to offer? And how do I give that and make that work, not just for me, but for the collective in ways that is manageable and reasonable, right? Because sometimes we can go too far out. Well, I can't help everybody, but who can I help in my immediate circle? Who do I see that there's a need? How do we pull our resources intellectually, financially, gifts, talents, and abilities to make sure that we're all good? How do we do that? And so I think that everybody's going to have to play the role. Our church, us, our communities, our networks. Like, how do we start pulling our resources together to make sure that everybody is okay? We got to start with the tangible needs. What does that mean? I got to make sure that you can eat. Because if people can't eat, they cut the food, right? Because they're getting ready to create a world of a revolution that's getting ready to happen when people don't think that they can eat and feed their families. We got to get these tangible needs met, because I can't even talk about mindset if you're hungry, right? And so how do we start pulling our resources to make sure that people's tangible needs are met and really get into Right. Unity. Yes. We have got to start unifying again and really looking out for one another on the tangible levels first.
I love that. He said common unity, which is community. And I'm glad that you said we, because we've adopted this rugged, Eurocentric, individualistic mindset which is capitalism, which is America, which is white. We've always been a community-minded people. We are community in nature. We are communal. The African that is in our blood is communal. And so we have to go back to that. And we have to know that whatever's going on in this administration, in this world, in this country, that we got to look at and stop looking at me, just like you said. And oh, by the way, Anonymous, let me just tell you, I am not at home. Okay. Yes, there's a lot going on. It's an echo over here. I am at an open house with my daughter. She's at this commercial listing, and I totally forgot about this podcast today. I told her I was gonna come help her with her commercial listing. So y'all just gonna have to thug it out through this goddamn smoke detector that just drive me nuts too, and this echo because there is no furniture in this office space. Okay. All right. So let's go to let's go to a commercial, or let's go to another video, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about it. For those who just tuned in, we're talking about the truth about layoffs, why it is that Black workers are taking the biggest hits.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money, and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming.
About a month ago, I made a video talking about how 300,000 Black women have recently been laid off from their jobs, myself included. And one of the main questions and critiques under that video was, well, what about X group of people? Everyone's getting laid off right now. It's not disproportionately affecting Black women. And I'm here to report to you that that is actually false. There was just an article that came out from the New York Times that gave the labor statistics of how employment's affected for other groups of people. And let me read it to you. So white women over the same time period have seen an increase of over 100,000 jobs. Same with Hispanic women, and wait for this, white men have seen the largest increase among groups, over 300,000 in the same time period. So yeah, breaking news, Black women are being disproportionately affected, and it is now proven. And it's really sad, and honestly just makes me want to shop for more Black-owned businesses and be way more intentional about that. So yeah, go support other Black-owned businesses and consider starting your own, and definitely just prepare yourself for layoffs. I know no one wants to think about worst case scenarios for stuff, but being financially prepared has definitely helped me more during this time.
So maybe I'm the only one that didn't hear, because all I heard was so I was trying to hear she said something. What did she say, y'all? Somebody sum it up for me, because I didn't hear it.
She was saying that there's an increase in Latina men and women and white men and women in jobs. So they haven't been affected by this job loss, that there has been an increase in them actually getting employment, where the decrease is only happening on the side for Black people.
Good old meritocracy. The idea that you get the job based on your merit, which has never happened in this country. Meritocracy does not exist in America. But yet, here we are. Dr. Felice, Dr. Sabrina, what do you think about this idea of meritocracy and the idea of Black people? They said Hispanic is on the rise too, or is on the decline?
On the rise. And so you got to think about those industries. Possibly it could be construction, it could be in those areas where they're finding an increase. So you have to think about
Hispanics, even though they deporting them.
I still see Latinas working. Not everybody's being deported.
Okay. All right. Ooh, okay, go ahead. Dr. Sabrina, what do you think about this?
Okay, go back to because we broke it up there. What was the original question?
I'm saying, like, what do you think about this whole idea of Black folks on the decline, everybody else on the rise? What is it? Is it a targeted effort to destroy our community?
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And then here's the sad part. When you add that on top of everything else that's going on, okay, for example, the government is shut down now. So these people are out of work, okay? Are there 300,000 jobs out there available? So during the time frame in which they are looking for employment, chances are they may have to have some type of assistance. Okay, well, everything is shut down. Where are they going to go to get this assistance? Okay. So during that time frame, they may need to eat. One of those non-essential things like eating. They may need to eat. Well, there are no benefits available because the government is shut down. So how do they do that? And I got one for you, Constance. Are you ready for this? We had a whole load of monkeys, infected monkeys that overturned here in the state of Mississippi a few weeks ago. So not only are there no SNAP benefits, people can't even go in the woods and hunt safely to try to get them some food because they may get attacked by the infected monkeys. So we got all that going on as well. And on top of that, on a serious note, I just need to lighten things up. Look at your face. But that's true, though. That's true. They got the monkeys now. There were 3 still running around on the loose. But I mean, you see, it's just so many things that are adding to this. And then when you factor in this stuff with the Affordable Care Act and the premiums going up. So now I have no job. I have no insurance. We barely eating over here. And oh my God, now that I'm stressed, I can't go see Dr. Felice or nobody because I don't have any benefits, but I'm going to pay them. So, I mean, I think, yeah, it is intentional.
Okay, so let me ask you, Dr. Felice, with everything that's going on, right? White people we've seen time and time again, they will vote against their own best interest because they are sick with racism. They hungry right now. They still gonna vote for Trump. They ain't got no insurance, no medical. They still gonna vote for Trump. What do you think? Just in your therapy mind, because this racism just overpowers people that much. Is it that powerful? What is it going to take for them to turn and turn from their wicked ways and see what's really going on? What is it going to take for these white people who have the power in the numbers to vote this stuff in? What do you think it's going to take for them?
That's a great question.
To see.
It's a great question. And I think when people have a blinder on, it's very hard for them to see. And it takes me back to, if you remember, y'all know, y'all call me the first lady in another life, and I accept it, right? Y'all, I always bring it back to spiritual. But if you think about it, remember the story with Moses and the Egyptians, right? God purposefully hardened the Egyptians' heart towards those people on purpose, because he wanted to be able, when he rescued the people from out of their oppression, he wanted to be able to get the credit. And so he wanted you to be able to see his glory. So we don't know. I think something spiritual is also happening in this time as well. A lot of it is not just the natural. I think something spiritual is going on, because I think there's a purposeful hardening and blinder. For them, right? He sent every plague on the planet. And nothing caused them to release the oppression of those people. So I don't know necessarily what it's going to take, but I do want our people to stay encouraged. I do want our people to be and start preparing and positioning themselves for a possible transfer of wealth. But you got to stay positive in order to be able to receive it. So I know that I don't know what it's necessarily going to take. I don't know if it's going to have to be where their suffering is so deep that they're not going to be able to deny the blinder. Does that make sense? And I'm hoping that it doesn't take that level of damage for them in order for the blinder to be removed, that you cannot continue to live in this space of privilege and power and oppression where you're the only ones who benefit, that it doesn't come back to haunt you. And so I just want our people to really to gird up. I really need us to gird up. And we're going to have to check in on our people and make sure that they're good so that when this transfer does occur, that you are prepared in a position to be able to be a part of it.
You know, I totally agree with you. And what I think is you can't control white people. You can't control racism. You can't control the hatred that is just intersected and integrated into the fabric of these people and this country. What we can do is we can control ourselves. We can talk to Black people. We can be insulated. We can be insulated. And our only power is unity. Remember, J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America is Negro unity. That's the thing that we're going to have to do to fight. Let's go to another video.
A lot of companies are laying off, man.
This is going to be big, bro.
Chances are you're probably going to get fired and my cousins are going to get hired. Let me explain. A lot of big corporations in America are no longer hiring American people for American jobs. Instead, they are outsourcing them to countries like India, Pakistan, Philippines, Poland, because it is a lot cheaper to hire people from there. Now, before we start to get mad about people from other countries taking our job, let's come to terms with this very important fact that's honestly causing the downturn of America. And that is our hyper-individualistic and hyper-capitalistic culture that is honestly not seen in other countries. Typically, other countries are very community-based, whereas people live together, they know each other, they know of their families, they actually really care about each other. And when there comes a time of crisis, they reach out and they step in to help you. However, in America, and especially American corporate culture, there is not a culture of people helping each other. Your biggest competitor is not another customer or another client or another business taking your job. It's your coworker. No one is preying on your downfall more than your coworker in a corporate America job, because corporate culture is set up and designed to have us everyday people fight with each other over scraps of paper. Meanwhile, the execs and the CEOs are getting paid top dollar and they are continuing to make more and more money, leading to them having this crazy wealth gap that we now see between the ordinary people versus the high level exec people. And I think the only way we can really fix that is to really reshape the way we work and make it more community based and more holistic based so that we can all just get along together. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Listen, we didn't even hear her video because we all been talking about the community mind, that we got to get away from this individualistic mindset. We've all been saying that. So we're all in agreement with that. So when you talk about it being spiritual, Dr. Felice, when you talk about it being spiritual, I think the benefit lies with us because of all of when you talk about a hardened heart and their hearts are so sick with racism that they can't even see what's happening right before their eyes. Like they're just totally blind to it. We see, we're wide awake. We woke. So if we, now that we're woke, we not just be hearers, but we're doers. We're taking action to insulate ourselves, to work together, to practice collective economics. That's the thing that's going to be the great equalizer for us to close that wealth gap. Dr. Sabrina, what do you think about what she said about how other people work as opposed to how we are, and just kind of the American system and the way that things are set up?
You agree? I agree wholeheartedly with what she said, because at the end of the day, Constance, and I know this conversation is kind of centered around race, but I think it goes even deeper than that. I think we are in a battle as it relates to race, but I think it also boils down to the economics of things. The haves versus the have-nots is what we are creating in this country, a system of haves versus the have-nots. And, we are politically primary two-party system, okay? You got the Democrats and the Republicans, and when one is in control, the other one is, the back and forth. But at the end of the day, I was thinking about this just yesterday. Does it really make sense? You got a group of people who make decisions about whether other people eat, and they're going to eat regardless. You got a group of people that make decisions about whether other people get paid, and they're going to get paid regardless. You got a group of people that make decisions about whether other people have health care, and they're going to have the best health care regardless. And so it's kind of like, wait a minute, maybe we need to, revisit this whole thing, because a lot of those individuals that are, like diehard MAGA and, that really are playing that race thing, it's all about race. They don't even realize that you ain't in the 1% either. So you in the same boat I'm in. You're not on the yacht. You with us. You don't realize it. You're making this about race. But at the end of the day, it really boils down to money. You just said it, Constance. We got a president who came through the door enriching himself, and every day with every play that happens over and over and more and more. If I'm not selling, a shirt with a piece of my ear hanging off, I'm selling shoes, I'm selling crypto, I'm selling stuff, I'm selling parties. It really is, and it's sad. So I think we got to keep our eye on that. And I think a lot of times even the racism part of the conversation is something that keeps us off balance. We lose focus and we forget what's really going on in front of us. Is we got a whole group of people over here, and they on the come up, and they coming up. And then there are a whole lot of other people that's just really falling by the wayside, and they're telling us it's about race. And then they doing all of this other stuff. So I don't want us to get distracted and lose that point either.
I'm so glad that you said that, because it's about greed. When you look at the top 1%, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there were no billionaires. These motherfuckers is not just trying to get to billions, but they trying to get to trillions. It's like a race against who can accumulate more of something that you cannot do anything with in this lifetime. There's no way that you can do anything with all this money that you've accumulated. But now it's just, they're just overly consumed with greed. Now, I've been saying since we started this podcast, we've been talking about the idea of for them at the top, it's never been about race. It's been about power. For everybody else, it's about race. So they've essentially distracted us by throwing race in the mix. That famous quote by Lyndon B. Johnson, and I always say this: if you could take the lowest white man and convince him that he's better than the best colored man, he won't even know that you're picking his pockets. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll give you everything he owns. So while they're playing the race card up here to keep us divided, keeps them in power. Black folks, I want us to understand, because these people are really so sick with racism that they're still going to continue to vote against their own best interest, as long as they can make them feel like they're better than us. It goes back to when race was even created. Before race was even created, remember, race is a social construct. When you had back in slavery, you had black slaves, you had the Irish, which were more indentured servants, right? But they had some type of servitude. Then they said, oh wow, they're getting too powerful. It's them against us. If it's too many of them against us, then they're going to overthrow us. So what do? We make the Irish a little bit higher than them. We make them the overseers. So they're white like us. They still not as good as us, as British people, as Portuguese people, but we're going to make the Irish just a little bit higher. Now, they're better than them. So now they're going to keep watch over them. They're going to keep them in line so that we can continue making our money. We ain't letting them be up in the big boys club, but we going to make sure that they feel that they are more important to the people that they're over. And that's essentially what the people in power have done. They know the game. They know the rules. I just want us as Black folks to understand. Let's go to some of our slides, some of our statistics, if we can go there really quick. In 2024, Revelio Labs reports found that roles tied to diversity, equity, inclusion were cut at 3 times the rate of other corporate jobs in 2022. Women and minorities are twice as likely to hold positions labeled non-core during corporate reconstruction. Okay. In 2023, over 40 major U.S. companies have scaled back or eliminated their DEI departments entirely, citing budget cuts and business refocusing. So if there was business refocusing, then their focus really on diversity, equity, inclusion really wasn't sincere in the first place, Dr. Felice. So again, which is it's all about being solution oriented. And I love the angle that you always talk about is being solution oriented. I really want to focus on what some specific things that we can do. I know you said, look, we got to get our mindset together, but if we can't eat, our mind can't be together. What are some core things Black people can do besides eating and mindset that can really set them up so that we are not dependent on these corporate entities, that when this stuff does happen, we're not affected, we're insulated?
Yeah. So that's a great question. One of the things is to start taking take care of ourselves, right? You got to be here to be able to do anything. So start thinking about ways that you can do some self-care to take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. Do little things. Like I told you before, I started a garden. I got tired of complaining about my tomatoes being as much as they were. Seriously. And now I got about 20, they still coming in. Like starting a garden, and you get one of those things, start a garden. Start figuring out, because if you think about our ancestors, they never made the salaries that we made, but they were able to still make it and do and thrive. So reevaluate your current situation. What can you stop doing? Like literally, like you may not be able to get your nails done. You may not be able to get your hair done like you normally did. What are those things that you can start cutting back on? And then start doing some bartering. Like, hey, I do nails, you do hair. I come, you do my hair, I do your nails, so that we still take care of ourselves, feel good about ourselves. Start doing gardens, or start doing a community garden. What are some other things we can do? We can start investing in and finding those Black businesses that are doing things in our community, and start frequenting those, and then putting that money back into our community somehow. And we're going to have to be smarter about it. So if you come see me, a portion of my money goes back into our communities. We got to start thinking of tangible ways that it benefits the win-win, so that we can take care of our communities in ways that make sense. And then really, really start channeling it. It's not necessarily how much you make, but what you do with what you make. And so finding out that strategy in order. I'm just going to keep it real. When I was struggling as a single parent, I'm telling you right now, tithing is what helped me. I don't know what the spiritual thing is about that, but when I gave back to God, he made sure I was good. And so he gave me ideas about how I could make sure and thrive even when I didn't have it on the financial end. So just getting back to some basics and being smarter about how we conduct our everyday lives so that we can make it. That's just the start.
Constance, I want to piggyback on that. And I think another thing, and very
I was going to ask you the same question anyway, so go ahead.
Central thing is we've got to feed into our young people. I mean, there are so many things that younger people have never seen, they've never experienced. And so for example, back during the summer, we hosted basically an each one teach one type event here in the community, because there were so many young people that didn't know how to do basic things, things that I think are basic. And the idea for this, for me, came from being at Walmart and having someone, a male, almost, I don't know, he looked like he was probably somewhere between 24 and maybe 30, walk up to me, ask me if I had any jumper cables. And he said, well, I need to get a boost. So in talking to him and going over to try to help the man out, and he looks and turned to me and look at me and say, well, do you know how to install the jumper cables? Oh, okay. So for me, what that said is there are just some things that our younger people may not know how to do. I'm not judging you. I'm not criticizing you, but I see this as an opportunity to step in and do something. So we literally hosted a day where we had people to come out. We had the mechanic to come out and show and work with our young people on, if you have a flat tire, this is how you change the flat. This is how you put the cables on. This is how you operate a lawnmower. this is, we had law enforcement to come out and talk to them about conflict resolution. Just a lot of these things that our kids are really not winning at, that they're failing at. And I would hope that if we did it again next year, that maybe we can even have some of the farmers to come out and talk to them about, starting their garden and doing things, because that's my big concern. I know my parents come from the era where they're going to survive. I don't care, what happens with this thing. They're going to eat. If daddy got to go in the closet and get the rifle and go out there and kill the squirrels and the rabbit, they're going to eat. They're going to be good. Even my generation, I feel like we'll be okay. But my concern really is about our babies, Constance. Are they going to be okay with all of this? Are we positioning them properly so that they will survive? And not just survive, but thrive on the other side of all of this.
I just want to give you props for that, Dr. Sabrina. That is so amazing. And that is so dope, because it's the small things like that some people think don't even matter. You said this brother don't even know how to put some jumper cables on a car. So let's go back to the basics, because we take that for granted. We take it for granted that people just know. Just like Anonymous said his dad taught him how to change the oil at 12 years old. My dad told me how to change the oil when I was 12. Everybody don't got daddies. My daddy showed me how to change a tire when I was 15. Everybody don't got a daddy. Everybody don't got a daddy to show them how to do that. So going back to the basics, because these are basic fundamentals. Right now, me being a single mother, my youngest gets the benefit of learning how to do things, because we got to, listen, I'm out here Barbara the Builder. I'm installing floors. I'm putting shelves up. I'm putting desks together, and my son is helping me. He has the benefit of being able to having to learn how to do this. He's putting tables together, chairs together. He be always telling people, the reason why you sitting down right now is because of me. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's what's up. That's good. But
so I want to comment, Constance, because I saw a comment in the chat, and I want to put us in check. Okay, somebody made the comment about that's the mother's fault, because this mindset of we don't need a man and this, that, and the other. Every situation is not the same. There are some situations where women did not have husbands. I have a niece, my husband's niece lost her husband when she was 24, 25 years old, had to raise 3 children by herself. So everybody's situation is not the same. And even if it is, even if the women didn't have a man in the house, we can talk about it all day long, but we got to have a solution. What good does it do us to sit here on this type of platform and talk about what women ain't done and this and that and the other if we're not here to offer solutions? Because at the end of the day, the babies still need to know how to do these things. So it's up to us, those of us that know, those of us that have done it, have had the experiences. Those of you like you guys, I had a daddy. My daddy was a mechanic. He showed me, he didn't have any sons. He taught us certain things. And I think we have, when you talk about Dr. Felice, community, this is what community needs to be focused on. Don't worry about the fact that Shaquisha got 3 different baby daddies or whatever. We still have an obligation as community, because the answer to our community may lie within one of Shaquisha's children. We don't know.
Can I piggyback on Dr. Sabrina? And that's where all the generations come into play, right? I think that if all the generations, we can bridge the gap. So you got a big baby boomer generation that is retiring. Well, what you can do with that is be productive and come back around to the younger generations. You have time now to come back and make sure that the younger generations are knowing that wisdom, that they're getting that wisdom and that modeling from you. So it's just a circle, right? So there's no reason for there to be any gaps if all the generations are playing their role and building up the community that you're talking about. So now I made my husband do it. My husband retired. Guess what? The tennis team for the Black high school, which is historic in Charlotte, first time they went to the regionals. First time on his watch, because he came back around. He's doing it for free. Teaching those girls, you get where I'm going. It's like you just come back around and you're still productive. You're still giving back to community and making sure that these children have those tools. We're still here. So there's hope for our younger generation to get the wisdom that was given to us.
Perfect. So I'm gonna give Herman a big shut the fuck up. You are the donkey of the day, so shut the fuck up, because we're talking about solutions. We ain't talking about Shanisha, like Dr. Sabrina said. We ain't talking about what we ain't got. We ain't talking about red, blue pill and all that stupid ass shit that you have adopted because of shit that they're saying on social media, which is really designed to keep us divided. We're not talking about that stupid ass shit today, brother. We talking about what are the solutions that we can offer to our community to build. Let's go to our last video.
NBC just laid off 13% of its news division. But this isn't just a budget story. Entire teams were wiped out, specifically the ones covering Black, Latino, Asian American, LGBTQ+, and other underserved communities. So not random cuts, but strategic silences. A whole vertical is now being outsourced to a private media firm run by a white man with zero public commitment to continue that coverage. No roadmap, no transition plan, no quote saying this work matters and will continue. And that silence is the message. While executives keep their titles, journalists with deep community ties are shown the door. More than just layoffs, these were editorial decisions about who gets to be seen and who disappears when the money runs out.
So what does that mean? I want to go ahead and end with that. So these conglomerates are taking away media that is specifically targeting, minority and underserved. What does that mean for us? And I want to start with you, Dr. Felice, and I want you to end on that. What does that mean for us?
It means that the America that we're used to and that we've come up with, they're going to be in a true jeopardy. You need everybody's experience at the table. You need everybody's diversity at the table, because that's what makes us who we are. America is one of the greatest countries on the planet, and I believe it is because of the melting pot. You need everybody's experiences because everybody comes with their own gifts, talents, based upon their culture, their environment, and what they've gone through. When you eliminate that, it gets really bland, right? Like the landscape is just really blah. And so that's what's getting ready to happen when you remove all of the diversity from the table. You need it. You need it. That's what makes life so good. Like when you come to America, when you go to New York, right? You could get pizza from the Italians. You can get your Chinese from it just, and people want to come to New York because it's such a replication of culture and diversity. Now remove that. Who's coming? Who's coming to blah? Who's putting money into blah? They are getting ready to fail by removing diversity. And so, we got to pray. We got to pray for our country. We got to pray for our leadership. We got to pray for our people. And then we got to start. We got to get real boots on the ground, not the line dance. We got to get real boots on the ground and starting small. And I agree with Dr. Sabrina. Thank you for bringing that to the table, that we got to start investing in our youth in different ways so that they can come up and be able to be resilient and keep this thing going. And so I am Felice Hightower Britt, your Be Big coach. You can find me on b.big.coach on Instagram. You can find me on my website, thebebigcoach.com. This is what I do. I love people and I want people to be good. And I want to be a part of your journey and making sure you not only be good, but you stay good. So reach out to me.
Let's go to b.big.coach. So Dr. Sabrina, for you also, what do you think about the idea of this large conglomerate just being with no salt, no pepper, no seasoning, bland as shit? What does that mean for America? What should we be doing to respond?
Well, what we should be doing is seizing this opportunity to tell our own story, to spin our own narrative, because for far too long, we have allowed other people to tell our story. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I am so thankful to people like a Roland Martin and a Joy Reid and others who have stood up and said, okay, you don't want to hear what we got to say over here. We're not going to stop talking. Just because you don't want us to say it on your platform, we will create our own table. And I think that is what we are going to have to do, whether it is with our stories, our own media, whether it's with opportunities for work. Let's start building some companies so that we do have something when it comes time for us to retire, that we have succession plans that we can put in place, and that we are creating opportunities for our children's children, and maybe not just our children, but we may even be creating opportunities for Shaniqua's children. Who knows? We have the power and the ability to do that. And I think some of us are going to have the foresight to not get caught up in all this other chatter, not get distracted by all this stuff, but to seize this opportunity to be better and to do better. Okay, so they cut off your medical benefits and they cut off your SNAP and all this. Maybe that's a sign that we got to start back eating the way we need to be eating those things that are healthy for our bodies. As I minister to others, I'm ministering unto myself. I'm moving differently, moving into 2026. I want to take control of my own health, so I'm not dependent on what the price of drugs are. It don't matter what they cost, because I'm not taking them. I'm not dependent on that for my health. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity if we will allow it to be. That being said, y'all, I'm so excited to be back today. Y'all know who I am. I am Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, educator, author, and investor, opening minds and closing contracts. I am so noted. I'm happy to be here. We've been gone for a while, but we are back. We are happy to see that y'all didn't forget about us. I see all these familiar names. We're back, and we got some stuff to say, and we're glad that you tuned in to listen to us. I am here to help you if you are interested in establishing your legacy plan. Dr. Williams is a life and legacy planning strategist. I would love to talk with you. You can reach me across social media platforms at I Am So Noted. That's IAMSEWNOTED. Thank you kindly. And it's so good to be here with my fellow queens. I look forward to doing what we do.
Did I not tell you we have the most intelligent queens on the planet on the panel today? The absolute right ones to have this conversation. These ladies are absolutely the right ones. I feel enlightened. I feel lighter. I feel encouraged. I feel motivated. So thank you guys for the gems. I just believe that this is the best time in the history of America for Black people. Now, hear me out. This is the best time. We see all these things taken away. Listen, this has always happened to Black people. We've always had to figure some shit out. We've always been struggling. We've always been the last. Everything that you see, everything good, we on the bottom, everything bad, we on the top. That's kind of been how it's been. And something needed to happen in order for a shift to occur in our community. And while America is on fire, somebody said in the comments, there has never been a time where so many white folks was out protest. There's never been a time in the history of this country where white folks and Black folks have been out there protesting, but not white folks. So I think that we have to really seize this opportunity, y'all. We have to build businesses. Less than 3% of businesses in Black communities are Black owned. What does that mean? We got to start building our own brick and mortars. We got to start doing our own community gardens. We got to start practicing collective economics. Black people will do business with Black people if we had options. We have $2 trillion of spending power. Less than 2% is spent within our community. We got to change it. Well, the reason why less than 2% is spent in our community is because we don't have enough businesses to spend with. Black people, it's time to rise up in times such as this. They are firing us. They are letting us go. So what does that mean? We got to build our own tables. We got to build our own houses. Fuck what they talking about. And we got to do it for ourselves. We got to be self-sufficient. We got to be independent. We got to take control of our lives, of our families, of our communities. And now is the perfect time to do it. And I'm excited about it for us. This is the perfect time. And this is why I do everything that I do. So when we talk about this tangible things that we can do, save your money, get your credit right, take that money and invest it in something else. Invest it in an asset, invest it in the stock market. So I do something on every Tuesday. I do a Grow Your Money Club masterclass every Tuesday where I'm just giving Tuesday free gems. Every Tuesday, you can come online and I'm going to teach you something. Yesterday, I talked about credit because you need credit as leverage so that you can build your wealth. Next week, I'm going to talk about how to get at home with little or no money down. I'm going to talk about real estate investment trust. I'm going to talk about all kinds of things. I'm going to talk about creating a living trust. Everything that we need to do to equip ourselves, I'm giving it to you for absolutely free on Tuesdays at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. So join us. I don't want to just talk about problems. I don't want to talk about what men ain't doing and what Shanisha ain't doing and what Pookie ain't doing. I want to talk about what we can do to build our communities. Let's stop being so problem-minded and let's be more solution-oriented. That's what we need to do, Black folks. That's why we're here. Okay? So if you want to join me, go to my website, go to ConstanceCarter.com or go to gymmasterclass.com. That's 2 M's, gym, G-Y-M, masterclass.com. So you can sign up for any of my training. I coach Black women, but on my website, you'll find all my stuff on ConstanceCarter.com where you can get any information from me. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Listen, what we are seeing right now is more than layoffs. It's a reflection of where power really sits in the workplace. When companies cut budgets, they reveal their values. If inclusion was just only a trend, if it was only there because Black Lives Matter, then this moment right now is exposing it. But if we learn from it, we can start focusing and we can build our own ownership. We can build our own skill sets and systems that we need that cannot be stripped away from us, Black people. So we appreciate the time. We're going to be here tomorrow on Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel with some beautiful ass, bomb ass sisters that's going to kick it for you. So we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Trey Sherman just got laid off from CBS, and he's one of many Americans who have lost their job right before the holiday season as companies across the board like Amazon, Target, UPS, FedEx are doing mass layoffs. And I really want to highlight Trey's experience because I think it's indicative of what we can expect from the current government, the current regime over the next couple of years unless we take action to cause radical change. They removed DEI, so they have no reason not to be racially discriminatory in their hiring practices and their firing practices. Like, layoffs are not just as simple as, all right, well, we need to save some money, so we need to cut some positions. No, like, you can alter salaries for that. Like, it's as simple as just altering the highest salary in the books. They're laying people off because they are trying to destabilize the American working class so that we're in a state of poverty and scarcity and scrambling for resources so that the ruling class and the elite class has all the power to determine that. And it's really fucked up to see it happen because, like, the same people who are fighting for Trump are the same people who are getting fucked over right now, including Black people. So that's why it's really frustrating for us because, like, we told y'all niggas this